everyone, I'm Athena, the Get Notice Coach, Career Strategist and Government Job Application Specialist. Welcome to my live broadcast today on Are Work Sample Assessments a Better Idea than Key Selection Criteria in the Public Sector Recruitment Process? Now, before I start today, I do want to do an acknowledgement to country. In the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community, and I pay respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to see so many more First Nations people entering Parliament this week, and I'm really super looking forward to seeing some action on implementing the Uluru Statement from the heart. So thank you to our First Nations people. Now, in this, I've been a bit absent the last couple of weeks because of my webinars clashing with the lives. But if you are here live today, say hi in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, I'd love to see you add hashtag replay in the comments. You can also view this on my YouTube channel if for some reason we lose connection here on LinkedIn. I'm really looking forward to having a chat with you today about a poll that I conducted a couple of weeks ago on this very topic, which is, are work sample assessments a better idea than using key selection criteria as a way to select candidates for an interview in the public sector recruitment process? Now, the poll results were fairly one-sided on this. I think key selection criteria has very bad brand reputation and probably rightly so. They've always been something that people have struggled with, found really difficult to understand and understand how to respond to. So I think in response to this, I'm now seeing some departments, particularly in the Australian public service, so at the federal level, have seen a couple of instances where work sample assessments have been requested instead of key selection criteria. Now, key selection criteria are basically criteria of the job, and you're basically responding by providing past examples of when you may have demonstrated certain behaviours or experience or skills, and using those examples in your responses to prove that you're the best applicant for the job. Work sample assessments, my understanding of them is that they're more future focused, in that what they're wanting to elicit is specific situation perhaps in their organisation or in their department, and asking you, what would you do in these situations? What would your plan be for, or what would your strategy be depending on the work that you're being asked to do in that particular job? And trying to find out how you think and how you actually plan a strategy going forward for that particular role that you're going for. Some people say that that is better because you're working on future ideas and perhaps some innovation might come out of that. But on the other hand, some people are worried about providing too much of their intellectual property and innovation and then perhaps not even landing the job. And what if the department uses that information to then implement the strategy you've suggested? Or the person who ends up with the role ends up with all these ideas elicited from people that went for the job and use some of those ideas going forward. So there's some negativity around work sample assessments as well. Now, you know, some people actually responded by saying, well, I could do a work sample assessment on something I've done in the past that's worked really well for me and apply this solution to the organisation that I want to work in as part of a work sample assessment. And I thought to myself, well, isn't that basically responding to your key selection criteria, still showing them what solutions you've provided before and the outcomes of those and why you would use them again in this particular scenario. I guess the only difference is that you would actually tie that in to how it would be relevant to the current role and actually say it. Whereas with key selection criteria, we're really just talking about past events and really just talking about what we have done. And the assumption is that it would work again going forward. I guess with a work sample assessment, you could also take that further in that if you have done something in the past and something didn't work, you could then keep going and talk about how you would apply the learnings to this new organisation and why that would be relevant to them. So which one do you use? Which one's better, key selection criteria or work sample assessments? I think both will have their pros and their cons. And at the end of the day, it's about how you respond to them and whether you give them the information they need. I don't think it matters whether you give them a past response or amend what you have done in the past and use that as a work sample for something perhaps in the future that would be relevant to a new organisation. At the end of the day, if you need to still provide them with what they're looking for in that job for that person who's going to do it. So whether you use things you've done before, whether you think of a new idea to move forward in that new organisation, you still have to find a way to make it relevant to the job and actually actually answer their question. At the end of the day, you're responding to their questions, and whether they're past examples or not probably doesn't matter. You still have to know how to do that, okay, and make it relevant. Work sample assessments, I guess, also will try and elicit more of your specific experience and knowledge in a particular area. It's almost like an exam, really, isn't it? So it may benefit you in that way. When you talk about your experience, you can actually show it by showing your processes in that example too. But I don't see that much difference in them, to be honest. But please correct me if I'm wrong. If you're out there in HR land and you're saying, Athena, that's not quite what they're designed to do, please correct me if I'm wrong. This is certainly a platform for that discussion. So I'm happy to hear from you if you have any comments or you have a preference. I'd love to hear what you think down below. Now, if you need some help articulating your worth, whether that's through key selection criteria or perhaps a work sample assessment, you need someone to help you go through that and get you to understand what answers they're actually looking for and what type of person they actually want to hire, and you need some help with that because you're not sure how to direct your response, then I can help you stand out in that six-figure public sector application. So please do get in touch with me. You can send me a message via LinkedIn, or you can go to my website at www.thegetnoticecoach.com and you can send me a message via there or book in a chat if you'd like, if you're ready to work with me, but you've just got a couple of questions. Thank you for being here today, and I hope that's given you something to think about. Do add your comments below if you have any. I will see you next week, and I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye.